$165,000. I just want to encourage people, man. For my 13th birthday, hanging out with some kids who I thought were my friends. Later on in life, these guys are nowhere to be found. I was still trying to get high, escape something else from trauma. Knowing now, as an adult, I can definitely look back and say this is the reason why. I count times in my life where I'm like, I should have been doing that, what I'm doing now. My other homie Etai comes in and he's looking for his gummy bears. He's going off. He's like, yo, who ate my gummy? Where's my gummy bears? I'm like, in my pocket. I'm like, yo, bro, here's $1. Like, my bad. You know what I'm saying? We didn't mean to eat your gummy. I'll go get you some more if it's that serious. He's like, no. You know, a lot of people are chasing their highs.
Chef, thanks for coming by, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, bro. So let's get right to it. You're in the rap scene, the underground rap scene. You got a lot of friends. You guys are doing that whole thing, right?
Yeah, I'm a rapper. I'm in the industry.
Okay. You see a lot of drugs, press folks.
That's all it is. That's all the industry is drugs. I mean, that's not all it is. Let me take that back, because there are a lot of artists that don't do drugs. But yeah, for the most part, that's the starter.
Mm.
That's the Kickstarter.
You go. What's the main one? If you had to say, like, this is what most people are doing.
Most artists sipping lean, codeine with promethazine, perks, cocaine, e-pills, MDMA, you name it, it goes on.
Yeah.
Shrooms are a little bit more on the cool side. They don't really overdo the shrooms. I would say they don't overuse. Overuse of the shrooms. Different vibe of the shrooms, but the 30s and the lean. Oh yeah, that's like candy right there. That's like studio etiquette. You don't go to the studio unless you have that.
Where are they getting it? Are they getting it from physicians? Are they getting it on the street?
The ones who got money are getting it from people that are close to physicians. So I would say we're getting it to the closest plug that's getting it from a doctor. But the ones who don't have money are getting it from the street. And of course, the street, the streets are, they're making it, whipping it up, cooking it, and making it right in the kitchen. So you don't know what you're getting at that point, but you're chasing that high.
Right.
A lot of people are chasing that high. So.
And do you know anyone that's overdosed?
Yeah, I have, several friends, too many to sit here and name them one by one. Rest in peace to all of them. But I'm a Valley kid. I'm born and raised out here in California, and I was raised in Sherman Oaks. Right off of Ventura Boulevard. I spent a lot of my early days as a kid skateboarding on the block. On my block, I would say Ventura Boulevard was my street. Cool street, cool area, calm, Sherman Oaks. But behind those walls as kids, a lot of kids was on drugs. A lot of my friends were ODing. A lot of my friends were heroin addicts, young, smoking off of foil. A lot of them were sipping promethazine with codeine. I've lost 10 fingers how many friends I've lost from 17 years old to 33.
Bro, just living in the valley is enough.
Just living in the valley
is enough to get you doing drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you don't know what it's like growing up in the valley, man. I grew up right next to him in Encino. Okay. It is, the Karens in the valley are just nonstop. They're all the people who are pissed, they don't live in the city. That's essentially what it is. Yeah. And it feels like the center of the sun in the summer. Yeah. Like you get out of the car and you want to cry. That's how bad it is.
Right.
I
can agree with that.
Dude, I got so spoiled being here in Santa Monica and in Malibu.
Oh man.
Like you come from the city there.
You go broke here because they come here for this weather. People, they come in just for the weather.
Just for the weather. That's right.
So you have in this day and age, as an adult making music and out there, and you have a friend who's buying, say, he thinks he's getting a perk on the street. Is there any feeling of like, this could kill me? It could have fentanyl in it. It might be laced and I could die.
Yeah. I mean, one of the homies, I'm not going to say his name, but he was getting perks from an unauthorized dealer. That we've known that this dealer presses pills, and he still getting them. He still wants to chase that high. Doesn't really get that. It's an addiction at a certain point. It's an addiction,
right?
You know, when you're addicted to something, I feel you don't really care. You're just chasing the high. You're chasing that feeling.
Just for the viewers,
just for the viewers,
if you're doing the perks or any opioids at all,
right,
for longer than 5 to 7 days, it's got you. You don't have it.
Right.
There's no more. You don't have a choice anymore. Okay.
Right, and you have to probably get medical help. I'm assuming.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. So you know any friends? You have friends who have died of fentanyl. Obviously. Yes. Okay. Just speak about one of them. About what it did to their parents or their family structure, because it destroys families.
Yeah.
It completely destroys. So I want to hear a little bit about something, if you know, about the pain it caused the people left behind.
Oh man, a real up one was I'm not gonna say any names. One of my buddies, he died early off of the drug, and the crazy thing about it was he was a really good kid, nice family. His family had money. They were, he wasn't struggling or anything like that, like A-list family. And his mom and dad actually died early, so all of his assets and shit was left to him and his sister. And his sister was obviously taking care of like her little brother, but he died. So when he died, it was like his mom and dad were already around. So that's I think was the biggest reason probably why he was on drugs, because he didn't have his mom and his father. His mom and his father died. And when his mom and father passed away, that's when he got really bad on drugs, because before his mom and dad died, he wasn't on drugs, but they died in a car crash. So due to that car crash, when his mom and dad died, he got off drugs. Everything was left to him and his sister, and he ended up passing away. I wasn't too close to his sister, so I don't know what her pain felt like, but I know what my pain felt like, because I was his friend. And losing a friend is, there's no happy feeling at all. But just to know his story, know where his pain comes from being older now, because back then I couldn't put the two and two together. Like, why is this guy doing drugs? Like, he has the best life. I'm going over here. I got a skateboard to school, and he's driving Audi to school. It's like, it's like, why is your life so bad where you have to do drugs? I didn't understand the pain that he was going through, whatever his coping mechanism was.
Man. Okay. You know anybody who's suffering, you send them over here. We'll find a spot for him. My treatment center, Carrera, is the finest treatment facility in the world. We're not getting anybody from the podcast. This is about just talking about drugs and the evils of fentanyl and how it's putting all of our children and our loved ones in harm's way. So that's all this is. My center is $165,000 a month.
$165,000. Come on, man. $165,000. Come on, man.
Hey, doctor, can you fix that?
That's exothalamus.
What does that mean?
That's what that is. That's a skill right there.
Oh, man, it took a long time to learn how to do that.
That figure will make your eyes pop out, though.
That will make your eyes pop. That's a lot of money,
dude. But
there's no amount of money that, if the help is there,
right?
There's no amount of money in the world.
Listen, all seriousness, nobody can go to Carrera. I mean, we've got 18 beds. They're full. There's a wait list. It's always full. It's always a wait list. But there's 18. It's never going to be more than 18. We've got affordable centers that people can go for like $250 or $500 for a deductible and do that. But some people don't even have that insurance.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. We've got this place called One Call Placement where you can call, right? We don't get anything out of it. All we do is we find a spot for these people to get well, because if we can't help them, and maybe we can help maybe 20% maybe of the people that call, the other 80% have to be referred out. We don't ever want anybody to feel like they don't have the money,
right?
Okay, because $165,000 is a lot of money.
That's a Porsche GTRS twin turbo.
Is it?
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
But it wouldn't bring your kid back if your kid died of fentanyl. It wouldn't bring your kid back.
Right.
It would.
I have friends of mine who, like you, remain nameless, made a ton of money, hundreds of $1 million in investment banking. And sadly, my friend passed away. And then their son just decided on a whim that he was going to try a perk that was laced with fentanyl, and he died.
Damn.
If they had Narcan there, this is a true story. This is a year ago. Now, if you said to them, $165,000 a month, we'll take your kid and get him clean, don't think for 1 second they would have done it knowing what the outcome might have been, right? I mean, no amount of money brings your child back.
A lot of people don't know, though, bro. A lot of people don't. They don't play it through. They don't think it's going to happen to them, and they don't want to part with the money. It's fine.
That's deep, man.
That's it. But they don't have to. That's the point. They don't have to, because there's all these different levels of care. You don't have to pop for 165 clicks.
Right.
You know, if you've got a kid.
Right.
Okay. You know, that's for your wife. That's for you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for your kid if you like them. Right. I mean, it's not for everybody, but everyone's got a place to go. And we got a list of everywhere we can send people, because it's so hard, right? If you're calling on drugs, right, and you've got that moment of clarity, you've just called 10 places and gotten jerked around. You don't want to get sober anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You want to get loaded, because this is
right. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Anyway, I want to ask you a couple questions. Did drugs or alcohol ever play a role in your life?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
The most recent?
Sure. Let's start there.
So let's start there. The most recent. Actually, to be honest, marijuana is the catalyst for everything. The first time I smoked marijuana, I think that if I never smoked weed, I think I'd probably be a little bit further off in life.
Right.
I'm at a great place, and I'm thankful for where I am. But
Dude, I saw the woman you're going to marry. You're doing better than me.
Man, I probably, maybe I'd already be married already, sitting in that freaking castle, but it's coming.
How old were you when you first smoked weed?
13. I'll never forget the day I smoked weed. I smoked it on my 13th birthday. Hanging out with some kids who I thought were my friends. Later on in life, these guys are nowhere to be found, and we're not friends anymore. So, smoking weed with these guys on my 13th birthday when I should have been home. My mom planned a surprise birthday party for me. I never had a surprise party. And instead, my homies were like, yo, after school, we're going to go get high. Come get high with us. And I'm like, every birthday's been the same, not knowing my mom's throwing a surprise birthday party for me. So I'm like, fuck it, I go kick it with the homies. And they're always blazing. I was a square. I'm like, I'm not going to smoke, but today's my birthday. I'm 13. I'm feeling like a man for some reason. And the homies are blazing. I'm like, today I'm going to smoke today. So we went to the homie's house, and he was stealing weed from his mom. I'll never forget this. He went in, he stole some weed from his mom, rolled a blunt up. We went on the side of his house, and we smoked his blunt. And it was about 6 or 7. It started getting dark around there. And I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm stoned already, though. I'm like, I got to get home. So I called my dad. My dad, he's pissed. He's like, where the are you? It's your birthday. You should be here. And I'm like, every birthday's been the same. Like, he's like, where are you? So my dad comes, he gets me, he picks me up. And then I'll never forget that ride home, because I was so stoned that this is my first time smoking weed. So I don't know what's going on. My dad is just pissed though. He's like, are you high right now? And I'm just like, yeah. And he's like, you're smoking, you're making bad decisions. And I'm just like, this is going through one ear, out the other. When I get home, and our whole family's there, my cousin's there, my mom's there, my dad got a cake, and my mom made me lobster, and I just felt like a piece of shit because it was out getting stoned. But yeah, 13 was the first time I smoked weed.
That didn't keep you from getting stoned again.
That didn't keep me from getting stoned again. That increased my love for marijuana. I still smoke to this day. I've been smoking marijuana since I was 13 years old. I've taken periodic breaks throughout this.
All right, well, let's get off the marijuana thing, because that's never killed anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Did it kill anybody?
But I want to hear. So you said that because of that.
So because of marijuana, that definitely opened up the doors later on.
Okay.
Okay, but hold on a second. Let's see if he knows why. Why?
Why did marijuana open?
Yeah, why is the marijuana the gateway drug for you?
I think it was just, it was a drug. It was like, I did marijuana and it was like, okay, cool. And all these other drugs now are just like, okay, cool. It's like being at a club and people are in the fucking bathroom doing bumps of cocaine. It's like, oh, you're doing a bump? Oh, you're doing a bump? Okay. I'll do a bump too. It's social. It's very social.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you get high enough on the marijuana?
No, but the marijuana gave me a feeling that...
Time out.
No, I didn't get high enough.
That was the answer.
No, I didn't get high enough.
That's why it was the gateway drug for you.
That's why it was the gateway drug for me. I didn't get high enough.
That's right.
I was still trying to get higher, escape something else from trauma, knowing now as an adult.
That's the answer right there.
Yeah.
Is the escape. There's actually a rabbi who said that drug alcohol use is rooted in someone's uncomfortableness in self. And whatever that's related to, be it trauma, family dynamics, whatever it is. Can you look back and say, like, I was escaping from
for sure. Looking back at it now, yeah, definitely. I can definitely look back and say, this is the reason why I smoked these. And I count times too. I count times in my life where I'm like, I should have been doing what I'm doing now, but I was smoking weed. And I'm like, oh, that's why I was smoking weed, because this is the reason why. But ultimately, healing that reason why I was smoking weed made it a little bit easier to get done what I had to get done.
So I have two questions. One, what was that caused you to use to escape from? Is it anything you can talk about?
Can you answer it with your eyes out?
No.
Don't
do that. That scared me.
You're running out the door.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
Man,
talking about, dude.
Just probably family. Family, broken home, broken childhood, losing a lot of family members when I was young. I was very close to my...
What did you lose?
Just illnesses, just a broken family. Like my uncle died when I was young. My grandmother, I was very close to my grandmother and my uncle. And these are just family members that were, close. My mom's and my dad were on drugs when they were young. When I was young, so that probably was drug abuse in the home. Not my dad not always being around. So just certain absences,
right?
Feeling
what led to the use.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Have you ever been so messed up that your eyes popped out accidentally?
Never. But I have been so gone one time that my eyes popped out. That was my first time doing acid.
On acid, your eyes?
My eyes popped out on acid. I was in the mirror. I was looking at myself in the mirror on acid. And I was staring at myself and I was like in disbelief that I could protrude my eyes the way I protrude my eyes. And I protruded my eyes in the mirror off acid, and it was just like the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a being like it.
The first time your eyes ever came out?
No, that wasn't the first time my eyes ever came out. The first time my eyes ever came out was the first time we'll put this on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
I can't.
But yeah, I was off. To back on that story, I was off acid. I never wanted to do acid. And my homies was in a studio session, and my boy was buying acid in this big studio session we were in, and he happened to have these triple dose gummy bears, and everybody cleared out the studio, and I'm in the studio session with my homie Razor. We're mixing the session, and the homie's like, we're smoking weed, we're faded, we got the munchies. The homie's like, damn, a pack of gummy bears. So he starts smacking these gummy bears. I'm like, yo, throw me some. So I eat 2 gummy bears. But the homie Shady comes in. He eats 2 gummy bears. Shout out my boy Wacko Kid. We were at ABC Studios back in the day. My other homie comes in. He eats 2 gummy bears. And I'm like, hell yeah, we craving satisfied. 30 seconds later, my other homie Itai comes in and he's looking for his gummy bears. He's going off. He's like, yo, who ate my gummy? Where's my gummy bears? I'm like, I go in my pocket. I'm like, yo, bro, here's $1. Like, my bag. You know what I'm saying? We didn't mean to eat your gummy. I'll go get you some more if it's that serious. He's like, no. He said, you guys just ate 3 double dose gummies of acid, whatever.
Oh.
Mind you, I've never wanted to do this drug ever in my life, and you're just telling me that I just ate 2 gummies with 3 drops of acid on it. I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm tripping. So my homies down the hall, these guys, they're hippies. They trip out. They do acid all the time. So I run down to the hall. They're like, yo, what's up, Bones? I'm like, I just did acid. They're like, oh yeah, finally. I'm like, no. They're like, how much you do? I'm just like, 2 gummies with 3 drops, and they're like, oh. And these are my homies that do acid. They're like, yeah, you're about to go on a trip, my boy. And I went on a trip that day, yeah. Outer body experience.
Dude, I would have drank a half a bottle.
You could have brain damage from that.
And the crazy thing is, I wanted to throw it up. So I'm like, only thing I can think of is throw it up. No, you don't do that, because when you throw it up, it hits your system even harder because it's coming out of the body.
Does it? Can it?
Yeah. I mean, if you create that pressure and get in the bloodstream faster. Yeah.
And that was a ride of a lifetime.
If you had more, you'd be dead.
I probably would have died that night.
Right.
I was so fried. I was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be, but I was still here. And the only thing that I could put together in my mind off this acid trip was that we are just spectacular beings, greater than what we really know that we are. You know,
So you don't do acid or mushrooms?
No.
You've done a couple.
I'll microdose on some shrooms, but I won't do acid.
Doesn't matter.
I won't do acid again. That one trip took me to where I need to go. I feel like I never need to experiment with any type of drug again after that acid trip.
I feel like I went on a trip listening to that story.
Yeah. Don't need to do acid again after that.
So you said you were 13 when you smoked weed. And then when did it lead to other stuff? Like,
Is my girlfriend watching this at the same time?
I don't know.
Can she watch it? Like, is this like live showing? Like,
I'm sure they've got it on. I'm sure they.
Oh,
is that bad or good?
That's great. That's cool. I love her. I love her to see me in my element.
Yeah, no. I'm sure she is.
So the question was, what
age and what led next from just doing weed at your 13th birthday?
Probably 17 and women. Sorry.
No.
Woman.
Wow. Right.
There was this hot chick that lived next door to me.
Huh?
She was 24 years old.
Huh?
I was 17 at the time. I was only smoking weed. I hadn't done any drug ever, but smoke weed. And there was this hot girl that lived next door that everybody wanted. And she happened to be into, well, I'm not going to say she was just into me. She was in every guy, but I was the innocent guy, like this innocent, young, handsome guy I happened to be. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love, man, with this chick next door, because she was just this bombshell. And I'm just like, fucking in love with this girl. She was everything. She was kind-hearted, fucking free spirit, just everything you can imagine. The girl next door, this was your girl next door. But she was heavily off drugs. And she was actually doing perks. She was doing real Percocets, though. This was back in like 2011.
Right.
So she was doing real shit, not this press that they're doing now. She was doing real drugs, and she was doing mushrooms and perks, and she was drinking liquor, and she was just doing it all. And that was the first time I ever did a perk. Was with this girl, and that was the first time I ever got drunk. Was with this girl, and drunk and off a perk.
At 17?
At 17. Was with this girl next door. And that was like a thing for like a year or two. You know? That was like a thing.
That's a long time from when you first smoked weed at 13. That's 4 years.
Yeah, that was like a thing or two, because I was in love with this girl, and that's all she did. So hanging out with her, I was kind of like dating her while she was dating the world. But she was, you know, she was like pimping all these dudes, and I was just, you know, getting free, and she was buying me whatever I wanted. So it was like, you know, I didn't
17.
She was 24. She was taking care of me, and I was living next door. I was like, you know, I didn't really know what life was. That's what life was. It was just like, there's this hot chick. She goes out. We go to expensive dinners, and you buy me all type of designer clothes, and I don't really care who she's or who her sugar daddy was. That didn't matter to me. That was none of my business. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
That's the first time.
Why is that? Why? No, chicks are the gateway drug.
No, yeah, it was a gateway drug. She definitely was a gateway drug. Because at that time I had my own life going on. I was in the streets. I was rapping. I was doing shit, but I wasn't into drugs. I was around homies that did drugs. Like I say, my homies were passing away doing heroin. They're smoking shit off foil. And I had never touched a piece of foil in my life. Thank God. I could take my hat off and kiss my baby to that. You know what I'm saying? I've never put a needle in my arm. I do. I have a 9-year-old. Damn, time flies by. I got a 9-year-old.
Wow.
Boy, Julius Legend Jones. Shout out Legend. Yeah, I got a son,
That's
man.
a dope name for a kid.
That is a good name.
Yeah.
God.
Julius, too.
Jalius.
What is it?
Jalius.
Jalius.
Yeah, like like Yahweh, Yahshua.
Mm-hmm.
Jalius.
Yahshua.
Yeah, that's what his name derives from.
So 17, 24, how long does that last?
17, 24, that lasted about, like I say, 2 years. It ended because she ended up getting strung out. I ended up moving. We ended up moving to a different part of the city, and she just ended up getting strung out. And by the time I was 19, she just didn't look the same anymore, and our relationship had changed. You know, she had more bodies on her, and I was grown at that point. Like, there was really, if I had been maybe 24 in the same mindset as her, I probably would have, because the chemistry me and this chick had was like, you know, I'm thankful that I have better chemistry with my girl than I'm with her now. But, you know, as far as that would have never lasted because she was on drugs. So that relationship never would have went anywhere.
So you're 19, done with her. Where are you at drug use wise by that time?
19, done with her, sipping lean. If I'm going to be honest, I was sipping promethazine, codeine around that time. I was drinking lean. All my partners, you know, we were sipping lean and popping Xanax, you know.
And you're making music then.
And I'm making music then. I'm rapping at the Basement 818. Shout out to Basement 818 on Ventura Boulevard.
I've driven past.
I'm the freestyle champion.
That's
you know what I'm saying? It was a paint store / record shop. I sold paint, and they used to host battles every last Sunday of the month.
Really?
So I would go out there with my big brother, Top Notch, and we would rip heads off. So I'm known in the Valley for sure. Besides my eyes, I'm like an underground MC. I'm an underground rap legend from the 818, San Fernando Valley. So if people didn't know me from my eyes, which caught on years later, but I was known for my lyricism.
At what point in your life were you thinking to yourself, like, this is a problem? Like, my use is a problem? Or did you never think that?
In my 30s, looking back on all the years I've smoked marijuana, I have no regrets on doing it, but
you're still doing it.
I do it moderately now. I don't smoke as much as I used to. I will smoke like an ounce every other day. We're smoking like big, like I'm co-owner with my brother. He has a big weed brand. Like we smoke pounds. Like I smoke weed. Like but it's all in moderation. You shouldn't stress the brain. You know, I've been smoking for so long that it's at some point in time, you have to tell yourself when is to stop. You got to take a break sometime. And that's part of that addiction. You know, weed is a very addictive drug. And it's not really, it actually takes the back. It's not really the weed. It's the tobacco mostly for me because I spliff my weed. So I'll say I'm more addicted to tobacco than I am smoking marijuana.
Yeah, but you've never been to rehab and you've never been to AA meetings.
No, I'm a strong person. I'm strong-minded. I've been through so much bullshit through my childhood that I've never ever got too strung out because at the same time, I've done drugs to escape certain situations, but I've seen it in my family firsthand. I've seen drug addicts in my family. I've seen what it does. It's two things: dead or in jail. I've seen that. I don't want to be dead. I don't want to be in jail. It's a fine line. Pick one. So it's like, it's moderation. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody and say I've never done drugs before because I have. But am I a drug addict? Do I use drugs every day? No, I don't.
It's interesting. You know, the idea, like, I've used drugs, but I'm not an addict. Like somebody who treats addicts and is around addicts all day, they do not possess that power. Once they are hooked, they are hooked.
Right.
There's no, because I know me, like, I'm not an addict. I can have one beer and that's it. I'm not sitting there thinking I need 5 or 6 or 10 or 12. And I'm just not an addict. I could smoke one cigarette and that would be it.
Right.
But people are powerless.
You know, bro, you're a serious guy. Do you ever feel like people may not see you as the serious man that you are because of the eye popping thing?
To a certain degree.
How does that make you feel?
I love it because everything's perception. You know, one of my favorite comments that I love seeing, I pin it every time I see this comment is, grown man, by the way. And they're referring to, my videos like this is a grown man doing this. And I love it because at the end of the day, I'm a kid inside. I'm never going to grow up. And if you've grown up already, well, that sucks for you. And I pray for you because growing up sucks.
Good. Will you pray for me tonight, please?
No, it's okay, man. You just growing up sucks. It does. It does. But you can't let that be the end all. We came here not knowing we're going to leave not knowing. So just be that kid at all times. and keep that kid, and you keep that kid alive. You can't, I feel like once that kid dies, you die.
A secure man is cool with being underestimated, right?
There's nothing out there, man. Well, I forget this. I lost my mom 2 years ago. Rest in peace, Teresa Jackson. This tattoo I got on my face right here, it's my mother's name. I put a bunch of, the reason I even have face tattoos, because I told myself, I was like, when I first tattooed myself, I said, I'm never going to work a job again. I was working at Time Warner Cable.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was making $100,000 a year in sales. I was living a good, chill life. I'm 20-some years old. I'm making $100K in sales. I'm killing them. I got the gift for gab. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the phone. I'm killing their ass. Right. I'm killing them so bad that they don't want to bring me up in the bracket. They don't want to make me supervisor. They don't want to make me a manager. They want to keep my ass right there on the phone. And I said, that's a problem. So I said, I can't work here anymore because I'm never going to own this business. I'm never going to be the owner here. I'm always going to be the ant. Mm-hmm. So I tatted my face. I put my son's name. I had my son, Julius, back in 2004. And I tatted his name on the side of my face. And I said, after this tattoo, I'm never going to work a job again. I tatted my son's name on my face. I literally made a video. Me and my buddies were sitting in the studio. And we're like, my brother's like, bro, he's like, you got all these talents, bro. You can rap, you're smart, you're this, you're that. But nobody knows you. He's like, you can pop your eyes out of your head, bro. He's like, let's go viral tomorrow. Let's do something. He's like, put it on the internet. And I was self-conscious about my eyes. I was doing it. Like I said, I'm a legend in the Valley. Everybody knows the guy that pops his eyes out that raps, but they don't know me on the internet. So this day, we all go to the store, we make a video, and I'm like, tomorrow we're posting it. This is it. We post a video in the morning. I wake up, it's 1 million views. I quit my job.
No more.
And I've never worked a 9-to-5 job since then. And then I continued to tat, because I fell in love with the art. I got tats all over my body covered. Mm-hmm. But the last tattoo I said I was going to put on my face was my mom's name. And so that's the last one on my face. But
I just lost my mother and father in 14 days.
Oh man.
I'm not going to tap my face, but maybe I'll.
Condolences, man.
That is a great story. That is a recognition of self and worth, right?
Yeah.
Of like, I'm doing this. They're keeping me down.
They're keeping me down.
I'm going to do my own thing.
I'm going to do my own thing. And that's what I did.
That's the American dream.
It is the American dream. And everybody has it in them.
That is the best story about the use of YouTube that I've ever heard. That is cool.
The internet will change your life.
Yeah.
If you utilize it the right way.
I can't stop watching them. I want Kenny on from now on, I think.
Sheesh.
So good. He's so good.
No, it's
everybody
such a good story.
In the comment section, let us know if you want Kenny here every week. And don't anybody say I suck and he's better than me, because I already know that. All right. All right. Let's what do you want to talk about? What do you want to plug? What are you doing? I want to support you in anything you're doing.
Definitely tune in to all the great music that I have continuing to drop. I'm finally in a dropping zone. Check my music out. It's on all streaming platforms at Chef Boy Bonez. Continue to follow me on all social media platforms. The only handle that I have is at Chef Boy Bonez. And I just want to encourage people, man, to stream. I want to encourage people to drop content. I want to encourage that fellow content creator, that rapper that's looking at this podcast, is watching this right now, man. Put your shit out there in the world, because you never know who's going to like it. That circle that you have of 10 friends or 20 people in your circle, the world is bigger than that. And I never knew how big the world was until I posted and believed in myself. So just put the content out there. You never know where it's going to go. Just create. Stay creative.
So is there a song that you own, not that you had on a label, not that somebody else wrote or has any ownership in it all? Is there a song that you have that you'd like us to play for you on the outro?
Yeah, I could definitely give you one for sure.
Which one?
Oh man, that's a tough one. It'd have to be No Jumper Freestyle. It just dropped. I was on a road to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Uh-huh. We're 2,000 away. We'll probably be there by tonight. So that No Jumper Freestyle is dropping this Friday, all platforms. So you go ahead and hit him with the No Jumper Freestyle.
All right, we got that. All right.
Sheesh. Hey man, y'all know the vibes. It's your boy Chef Boy Bonez, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Scares me.
I'm playing with it, man.
Oh, that's so good. It's so scary. What's scary?
It scares me. I don't know why.
I'm glad it scares you.
I have you here.
I got it. I'm the straight man.
I'm glad it scares you, man.
It's so nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're the best, bro.
If you or a loved one is struggling, we have a number that you can call, and we'll help you find the best treatment that is right for you. Our company, One Call Placement, is dedicated to helping you, and we'll find the best treatment that is right for you. So call now at 888-808-6159. Again, that's 888-808-6159.
We're out of time. Please subscribe on YouTube, click the thumbs up, and leave a comment. Please subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify and leave a rating and a review. And share the We're Out of Time podcast with others you know who will get value out of it. See you next Tuesday.